This is my favorite way to use art irresponsibly, taking the cutest characters possible and style swapping them with the grittiest, most horrendous characters possible. I have heard the overwhelming feedback. You guys didn't like my green screen digital spinnies, which we worked so bloody hard on. But some of you accuse me of cheating the system or faking the results.
You're a phony!
But none of which is true. But because I understand the want for something a little more tangible, the big real spinny wheel is back. So let's do some horrific character style swaps, starting off by mixing the very cute SpongeBob SquarePants with... oh my god! Breaking Bad! SpongeBob with Breaking Bad! Oh, hell yeah. I am so excited. All right, let's go. Now this combo is really fun in particular because, I don't know, I just see some direct character parallels here. Initially, just because SpongeBob is the main character in SpongeBob, the go-to thought is to make him Heisenberg, but the aesthetic of Patrick as Heisenberg just seemed way more fitting with SpongeBob as the Jesse Pinkman, who is of course the young troublemaker, slightly irresponsible companion to the destructive Heisenberg. And also I just think Patrick can give off a much more serious vibe than SpongeBob. Just the personalities and aesthetics fit way too well in that direction. But I'm going to do 3 characters in this because Squidward needs to be in here, and there is also a perfect Breaking Bad correlation here too. And that is of course Gus. One of the best antagonists in any series ever. Just the character work is so amazing, and personality wise I think fits pretty perfectly into Squidward's skin. So with my 3 Breaking Bad bikini bottom characters, it's time to get into some of the line work, starting off with our Patrick. The process is pretty straightforward, putting down some clean, crisp line work, and after which we lay down some flat colors and then go through and recolor the lines to suit the cartoony colored tones. I had to of course swap Patrick's bathing trunks with Walter White's iconic tighty-whities, and with that combined with the various props and the expression change, I feel like Patrick has made a really good Heisenberg here. And just like I thought, SpongeBob makes the perfect Jesse Pinkman. And again, it really doesn't take a lot of changes to make him fit perfectly. Tweaking his outfit and adding a prop. If you're old enough to know what it is, then that's all you need to know. Ah! That's my that was my attempt to I can't do the SpongeBob laugh. Last but not least, we have our Guswood, Squid Gus. And again, these characters are made to go together. They even wear the same colored shirt, for goodness sake, with the same dour expression and tall, refined, easily frustrated posture. Our 3 characters here fit so well into the 3 characters that I've picked from Breaking Bad, but there are others that I didn't draw that would work just as well. Like, just try and tell me that Mr. Krabs isn't the perfect Tuco. Now normally when I do these style swaps, I like to do them in both directions. No matter how much I scratch my head, I can't figure out a way to make SpongeBob in the Breaking Bad universe because he's a sponge. Patrick's a starfish, and this one doesn't go in the other direction. So let's just spend a little bit of extra time taking this SpongeBob one a little further in the polished direction. And here we have my final bikini bottom Breaking Bad. I love the way this turned out. A really fun swap that worked absolutely perfectly. Let's do another. Ah! Welcome back in time to the spin of our second gritty character mashup, where the fates determined that the cute character I would be swapping would be Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. Will be smushed with Yes, that's Vikings. Oh my God, Adventure Time in the style of Vikings. Hell yeah. Actually, again, this fits so well. All right, let's do it. It's Adventure Time. Another perfect combination, Finn and Jake and our Vikings. Now I have to confess, I haven't watched much of the Vikings show. I have watched my fair share of Adventure Time, and I figured Vikings is, you know, it's Vikings, right? Like, I figure if I'm at least sticking to a gritty Viking style, I'm going in the right direction. As I start to add in the detail of my more realistically proportioned and detailed Jake and Finn, I'm going through the choices of how to balance adding details and also keeping what's original. Now, the original animal hat that Finn wears can be tweaked a little bit to look a bit like a Viking headpiece or crown or something, and otherwise the shape of that head covering works pretty well as almost like those chainmail coif things, I don't know what you call them, that they wore in medieval times. We'll just make it more of a cloth hood. My point being, the shape isn't entirely out of character for the period. The colors are a little bit off, but I'll be, of course, muddying them all down quite a lot and giving them more realistic lighting. And hopefully that'll all tie it together and make it a bit more tonally fitting in the Vikings world. As I go in to add the highlights, directing from a light source above, this immediately lifts the piece and makes it way more three-dimensional. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I'm starting to try and apply some of those lessons that I learned in my portrait painting learning phase that I went through in a recent video. And it really does not only speed things up, but make way more effective results way more quickly. So it's really fun to put it into practice now. It even works when applying it to my wolf Jake with more textured hairbrushes. And speaking of brushes, the final parts of polishing this all up, the brushes will do most of the work to make my Viking, Finn and Jake, ready for their adventure time. Alright, we've gone epic, let's get goofy. Adventure Time has a way more cutesy aesthetic, and it's going to be really fun to bring a Viking into the world and aesthetic of Adventure Time. Now, how to do that has a question mark on my head. I don't know all the super deep lore, but what I do know is all the humans wear animal headpieces and hats. I definitely need to carry that over. And I also know that there's this storyline between the Hiders and Seekers, and the Seekers all look really like buff, like they're built to travel the world and specifically find the Hiders, and it just feels right to me that the Vikings are Seekers. I mean, they're Vikings, they travel the world and pillage and plunder. So as you can see, as I go through my line work, I've gone with that really fun burly aesthetic of the Seekers, and I've gone with these really tufty pants because Ragnar Lodbrok actually means Ragnar hairy breeches, which is apparently a reference to what he was wearing when he won over the woman who became his wife. So my Adventure Time Ragnar has some hairy breeches. Let's give him some color and get him ready for his adventure. And here he is if the Vikings universe was invented and portrayed in the universe of Adventure Time. I love how this one turned out. These just get more and more absurd the more of them I do. So of course, we got to do more. But before we do, just a friendly reminder that if you're enjoying how this stuff turns out, my brushes do a lot of the heavy lifting. So go check out the JAZZA'Studios.com shop and check out my digital brushes, which are compatible with Photoshop, Procreate, and Clip Studio Paint. And you can get them in a bundle with an awesome digital how to paint guide that I made with Alicia. And there's loads more over there, like my character design masterclass, my animation foundation, and so much more. And it's a direct support to the channel, and I really appreciate your support. But my creative journey brings me to 2 final spins of the dreaded wheel. The time has finally come, the last of the 3 horrific character style swaps. With Bluey again. So we had Bluey in the first episode of this, and he's back. He'll be remade in the style of The Dark Knight. Batman, Dogman. There's something there. Let's see if we can find it. Now, Batman as Bluey is an interesting sort of universe swap. This one is usually an easy one to swap lore-wise, just because Batman is, well, he's Batman because as a young boy, Bruce Wayne was frightened by a bunch of bats. So in this universe, I guess Bruce Wayne was attacked by blue healer dogs or something. I don't know. He needs to fend off his fear by becoming the thing he fears, so that people fear him as Blue Man, Blue Dog, the blue. I don't have a name. It's something in there. Let me know in the comments what you think Bruce Wayne would name his persona if he was terrified by blue healer dogs. As you can tell, I'm basically just going for the vibe change here as to what would be different if I kept the color scheme of Bluey and try to incorporate the design aesthetics of the blue healer dog into his costume instead of a bat. And all in all, I think this is working out pretty well. Let's just take it up to the final level with a bit more polish and punch. And last but not least, we've got to go in the opposite direction. I think we know what it's going to look like, so we don't need to linger long on this. And I cheated a little bit by, well, tracing, let's call it what it is. But I must confess, as we get close to the finish line, I am rushing this last one because it's my wife and I's 10th anniversary, and I gotta wrap this up and go have a bit of time off. So I did want to make sure that I take it across the finish line and at least do everything that I possibly can. And this is my Batman and Joker in the Bluey universe, which, I mean, look, it's just the characters from Bluey dressed as Batman and the Joker. I mean, that's pretty cute, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. I prefer Bat Dog. It's cooler, but this is cool too. There we have it, another romp in the irresponsible with art. I've had a lot of fun here today, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. To just basically use art as a game, and it can really stir inspiration and make you feel creative and have some fun. Give it a go yourself sometime. Otherwise, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.